Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today, and
Deeper than usual.
yeah, you could say that. We're taking on
The Alchemist,
The Alchemist, specifically some of the,
the juiciest bits.
juiciest bits, the excerpts that you, our amazing listeners, sent in. So,
It's a book that's, well,
kind of legendary in its own right.
it really is. Touches something deep, I think.
Totally. And today, we're not just gonna, rehash the plot.
Oh, no.
We're digging for those, like, golden nuggets, the stuff about dreams and omens and
How it all connects.
yeah, exactly. Like that personal legend thing Coelho talks about. Ever felt that pull yourself?
Oh, absolutely. That feeling like you're,
Meant for something more.
exactly. And the Alchemist says, like, it's not just some,
Wishful thinking.
yeah, like it's a real force guiding us.
But you got to take that first step, right?
Always the first step.
That's where our shepherd comes in. He's got this, well,
Simple life, you could say.
simple content, traveling with his sheep, and
He's got his routine down pat, the way he carries his jacket, even the book he uses for a pillow. It's like in tune with those sheep.
but then there's this dream, right, about treasure.
Yeah, the pyramids.
Pops up again and again. I wonder, is that how omens often work? Not some big,
Neon sign.
yeah, but these little nudges making you question things.
Good point. And that's where Melchizedek steps in.
King of Salem, right? Mysterious guy.
Oh, totally. And he drops this truth bomb about the, quote, world's greatest lie.
And that's not like forgetting to take out the trash.
No, this is big stuff. It's that belief that, well, that we're not in control. Like fate has got us by the...
Like puckets.
Yeah. Melchizedek says, forget that.
But it's easy to say, harder to actually,
Live by.
live by. I mean, it's easy to think, well, this is just how it is. And
But he shakes things up. Remember what he demands.
a tenth of the shepherd's flock, just for some guidance.
Makes you think, what are we willing to give up for our own, personal legend?
To actually chase those dreams. And from there, the omens really start popping up, right?
Like that old woman who interprets dreams. She's hesitant at first, almost like...
Testing him.
Yeah. But then, bam, it's Egypt, the pyramids,
Yeah.
the whole thing. And then there's the stones, the Urim and Thummim, and even,
A hold in his bag.
that becomes a sign.
So he heads to Tangier and wham, gets robbed. You'd think that's...
Game over.
Yeah. Like, universe, I get it. I'm staying home.
But that's where it gets interesting, right? Is it a setback or is it,
a course correction.
exactly pushing him onto a different path? Ever felt that way? Like something you thought was terrible turned out
To be a blessing in disguise.
all the time. And that's where the crystal merchant comes in. He doesn't just give the shepherd a job. He's like
A mentor.
living proof that you can align with your, what's it called?
Personal legend.
Yeah. He talks about favorability, too. Like, luck isn't random. It's something you
Cultivate.
cultivate. It's about making things happen, not waiting for them to...
Okay, I'm feeling inspired. But the shepherd's journey is just getting started, right? Next, he decides to
cross the Sahara.
cross the Sahara with a caravan. That's a serious
Leap of faith.
leap of faith. And it's in that vast desert that things really start to,
Shift.
yeah. He meets the Englishman who's all about books and knowledge, searching for the alchemist.
Two different paths, right?
Totally, like head versus heart. And then there's the camel driver, wise guy, talks about the desert being a
Teacher.
teacher. He's all about living in the moment, being present.
Something we could all use a little more of, right?
Absolutely. The desert strips everything away, forces you to...
Face yourself.
Exactly. And then, bam, they reach this oasis, Al-Fayoum. Total opposite of the desert. Bustling, full of life.
And that's where he meets Fatima. Instant connection.
Like love at first sight.
Deeper than that. Remember the language without words?
Yeah, the crystal merchant mentioned that.
This is it. Souls connecting.
And love, that's got to be part of the personal legend too, right?
Oh, it's all connected. But the shepherd, his journey's not over. He's still searching for the alchemist. But for that part of the story, well,
We'll have to wait for the next deep dive.
stay tuned.
Last time, things are getting pretty intense. The shepherd, he'd found this, like, instant connection with Fatima.
Yeah, at the oasis.
Right. But it makes you think, can you have, like, deep love and still pursue your,
Your personal legend.
yeah, like, do those things have to be at odds?
Good question. A lot of people might assume so, but in The Alchemist, it seems more like they can actually,
Work together.
exactly, like enhance each other. And remember, the shepherd, he's still searching for the alchemist, even with,
With Fatima there.
yep. And it's in that crazy, bustling oasis, amidst all the distractions, that he finally finds him.
Funny how that works, right? You'd think it would be, like, on top of a mountain or something.
Yeah, some grand reveal. But the alchemist, he's just kind of there, blending in.
Yeah, but there's that line about him communicating with the genies of the desert.
Ooh, yeah. Hints at something deeper, right?
Totally. So the alchemist agrees to guide the shepherd to the pyramids. But it's not just like,
A casual stroll.
yeah, more like
An apprenticeship.
an apprenticeship, right? And the alchemist starts dropping these wisdom bombs. Like, remember that story with the oil and the spoon?
Oh, yeah. The boy's got to keep his eye on the oil, but also
Or see at the world around him.
it's like such a great metaphor for life, right? So easy to get fixated on the goal.
Miss all the little things along the way.
Totally. And then there's that story about the centurion, the one who said the words that, well,
That people later attributed to Jesus.
right. It really makes you think about how,
Acted everything is.
yeah, like our actions, our words, they have this ripple effect we can't even imagine.
It's kind of trippy when you think about it.
It is. Makes you wonder about those little, coincidences, connections in your own life. Ever had any of those?
Oh, for sure. Moments that make you think there's got to be something bigger going on. But back to the story. Things get pretty crazy, right? Tribal wars break out, and
The boy has a vision,
a vision of what?
an attack on the oasis.
Oh, wow. So now the Umans are like,
Life or death?
yeah, and the alchemist warns the boy about the desert, but also says he has to
Trust his heart.
trust his heart. So tough situation, right? Stay quiet. Maybe everyone at the oasis dies. Speak up. Maybe he...
Gets in trouble.
Yeah. What would you do?
Tough call. But the shepherd, he decides to warn the tribal leaders. He knows his,
Personal legend.
yeah, it's connected to the well-being of others. But his decision, well, it comes with a price. They basically tell him,
Turn into the wind, or else.
yeah, kind of hard to,
Wrap your head around that one.
it is. This is where Coelho, I think, takes us beyond the literal, It's not about some magic trick. It's about tapping into a...
Deeper power.
Exactly. Something that connects us all.
So how does he do it? Does he like actually become wind?
That's the cool part, right? Leaves it open. He doesn't use any tools or spells. He just,
Goes inward.
yeah, talks to the desert, the wind, even the sun.
So not just talking to them, but like communicating with their
Their essence.
essence. Yeah, like recognizing they have their own kind of wisdom.
And remember that line, when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it.
So powerful. But I imagine it's not easy, right? It must have faced,
Resistance.
yeah, doubt, fear. But he pushes through because of...
Fatima, the oasis, his own personal legend.
And then what? The wind starts blowing like
The
crazy.
Xylem, yeah. Most powerful desert wind. The tribesmen freak out, think it's sorcery. But the alchemist, he gets it. And the tribal chief, too.
So did the boy like disappear?
Well, he vanishes. And when the wind dies down, there he is on the other side of the camp, unharmed.
Whoa. It's like he, I don't know, went beyond his...
Limits, yeah. But the best part is, because of that, the tribal leaders, they...
Believe him. They believe him about the attack. The oasis is saved. So he achieved this major victory, but
The journey's not over.
he still has to get to those pyramids, find his treasure.
Exactly. And what he finds there, well, let's just say it's not what he expects. But that's a story for our next deep dive.
All right, so the shepherds like overcome all these obstacles, right? He found love, even, sort of defied nature, but he's still got to get to those pyramids.
Imagine standing there, after all that, in front of those ancient wonders. It must have been,
Mind-blowing.
yeah, the culmination of his journey, all that history. But like we said, there's a twist. He doesn't find, well,
What he expects.
not exactly. He follows those omens, the memories of his dream, digs and digs.
And
nothing.
no treasure. After all that,
Nope.
I gotta say I'd be pretty bummed. I mean, wouldn't you start to question, like,
Everything.
yeah, like, was it all for nothing?
It's a test, right? Do you cling to that old vision or do you open yourself to maybe
Wasn't different.
something you weren't expecting? But as he's dealing with all this, these refugees fleeing the tribal wars,
Oh, no.
they come across him. Desperate, suspicious, think he's hiding something valuable.
Uh-oh.
They find that piece of gold, remember, the one the alchemist gave him. And
They attack him.
they beat him, demanding he tell them where the rest of the treasure is.
That's awful. After all he went through to be...
Yeah, it's rough. But this is where the language without words comes back, remember?
Oh, yeah. He used it with Fatima, the alchemist, even the desert.
In that moment, instead of fighting back, he cries out, "I'm digging for treasure!" He just,
Lets it all out.
yeah, his vulnerability, his belief, and the leader of the refugees, he
believes him.
does, tells his men to back off.
Wow. What changed his mind?
As they're leaving, he points to the spot where the shepherd was digging. "That's where I dreamed my treasure was buried," he says, "but I was never brave enough to go after it."
You're kidding. So the treasure wasn't gold. It was...
The journey.
Yeah, the courage to follow the dream.
The shepherd faith, it woke something up in that refugee leader. The real treasure was never at the pyramids, it was...
Inside him all along.
Exactly. It's about the transformation, the lessons learned, the impact you have on others, even without realizing it.
It's like the alchemist is saying, hey, the journey, the growth, that is the treasure.
And the alchemist, he knew that all along. He orchestrated these experiences to, you know.
reveal that truth.
Yeah. So what do you think? Does the shepherd go back to Fatima? Keep searching?
Coelho leaves it open, but there's this feeling of, like,
Peace.
peace, yeah, like the shepherd realizes the treasure was always there.
Which I think brings us back to what we're doing here, right? Digging for that deeper meaning.
The omens, the connections, the dreams. The alchemist reminds us to pay attention to those little nudges.
Absolutely. To have the courage to follow them, even when it seems,
Even possible.
even then.
So I gotta ask, what seemingly small thing in your own life, maybe you've brushed it off, could be like a sign? What's your language without words telling you?
Ooh, good question. And for everyone listening, if you haven't already, I highly recommend checking out the whole book. There's so much more to discover.
Until next time, keep seeking, keep listening, and remember,
The universe is conspiring to help you achieve your dreams.
we'll see you on the back deep dive. Too